Kanavos Show with a Facebook page by the same name. I'm your host, Kat Kanavos, author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke, and distributed by Simon & Schuster. To learn more, you can go to the Facebook page by the same name, Dreams That Can Save Your Life. And our guest tonight is Dr. Larry Burke, and we're here to talk about the book and some of the things that have made this book so incredible. So welcome to the show, Dr. Larry Burke.
Thanks, Kat. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started, so our audience knows that you're still working. You are a radiologist at Duke University. Tell them a little bit about what you do during the day.
So I am a holistic radiologist. So I do regular radiology a couple mornings a week at Duke, teaching the residents and fellows how to read x-rays. And then in the afternoons, I read MRI scans via teleradiology from all over the country. And then a couple mornings a week, I go to my wife's office and I do emotional freedom techniques, the tapping technique with hypnosis and dream work. So it keeps me pretty busy all week long. And yeah. So.
It does. You know, I love tapping. I used tapping a lot when I was going through my surgeries. And for those of you listening in right now who aren't familiar with Larry and I'm a 3-time breast cancer survivor. And I went through, I think it was 21 surgeries I counted up in 2 years. And so in order not to have to take pain pills all the time, because this was before people realized or doctors realized that the pain pills were so addictive, I would do tapping. I would do tapping because I didn't want, and plus the pain pills made me really nauseous, which in the book, a lot of the women talk about how the pain pills do make them nauseous. So Dr. Larry and we kind of met through a mutual friend who wrote a blurb for the book and will be on the cover of the book. And we don't have the book yet, but this is what the cover looks like. I'm going to cover up my face for a second so you can see it, but you see the monk and the feather and the woman sleeping, and the book is being distributed by Simon & Schuster. So Larry, tell us, what made you decide to do this research with women on dreams that diagnosed or were precognitive concerning their breast cancer, and then that was actually validated by pathology reports?
Yeah, well, it came from 2 of my close friends who told me their stories about having had a dream before they had any symptoms. And they went and had, in one case, the mammogram was negative and then the ultrasound was positive, and the other one, the mammogram was positive. And then I started getting really curious about it because I never heard anyone talk about this before, and discovered there was very little in the medical literature at all. And then discovered your book, Wanda Birch's She Who Dreams book, and Carolyn Kinney's paper on transcending breast cancer. And months later, all 3 of you were in the research project. So that was wonderful.
And so all 3 of us are also in the book. There are 18 of us women who are basically the backbone of the book, and we are all in your research.
Yeah. And then of course, since the book came out, we've been getting reports of other types of cancer, brain tumors, melanoma, lung cancer, colon cancer, and the reports are still coming in every day. So yeah, I think there's a lot of more research that could be done, especially in areas where modern medicine feels the need to do screening tests to try to detect cancer early. And the dreams could be very synergistic and complementary to any screening test that you might be doing. So.
Yeah, and so a lot of the stories in the book are not just cancer. We've got diabetes. We've got a lot of other stories where people had dreams that told them to go back to their doctors or go get testing, and they were recurrent dreams, which I think is important. They weren't just one dream and they went running back to the doctor. These were dreams that basically wouldn't leave them alone.
Right, and I think that's one of the key facets of this whole dream exploration is that the dreams that people have that warn them of really important health concerns are like the most important dreams they've ever had in their life. They wake them up from sleep. They can't remember it. Every detail is vivid. and it compels them to do something about it. I think that's one of the common traits of the women in the breast cancer study is dreams were so compelling they had to do something about it.
Mm. I mean, I had monks that showed up in my dreams, and they wouldn't go away. They wouldn't leave me alone. They were like, "You got to get back to your doctor, and you got to do it tomorrow without an appointment." And so my story is in the book talking about that. But I think what's really interesting, Larry, is the fact that this isn't something that's new. This has been going on since ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, but it was kind of brushed out of modern medicine. And so we're kind of bringing it back and saying, yeah, this is something that's really important.
Yeah, and I think that not only are these dreaming traditions very ancient, but probably much more common than we realize. I mean, we've just got the tip of the iceberg in terms of the 18 women in the study. There's probably dozens of women around the country and hundreds around the world who are having these kind of dreams for breast cancer. But for other types of cancer, we've got a couple men in the book as well with lung cancer and prostate cancer. And so it's, we're not leaving the men out here. I mean, the men are having a lot of dreams too. So.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting dreams of one of the men in the book was one who had a dream that he was carrying his body through the playground of life and dumped it into a ditch, which was basically him telling himself, if you don't get to a doctor and get this taken care of, you're going to be burying yourself.
Yeah, and those kind of images are amazing when they happen, but they don't always have to have images. Sometimes people just have a voice, a dream voice that comes through, and they don't remember anything about the dream except the voice telling them what to do.
So you did a TEDx talk, an amazing talk. I mean, I watched it, was incredible, but what happened?
Well, after about 7,000 views, someone must have complained to TEDx that it wasn't scientific enough for their criteria. Whatever that means, they don't really understand what science is, because all it was a pilot study and planning for future research. And they wound up flagging the talk as not meeting their criteria. So there's a red banner right in the middle of the talk on YouTube now. And one of the only places you can still find the talk is on my website, which is Larry Burke, MD. And it's featured there. You can watch it. All you gotta do is click on the little red X in the upper right corner of the banner to make the little banner go away, and you can watch the whole thing. So.
You know what's so amazing about that is every single story in this book and that was on your TEDx talk are stories of dreams that people had. And then they went to their doctors, and their doctors did tests, and the tests came back as pathology reports stating that the dreams were true. Now, if that's not scientific, I'm not really sure what is.
Well, and the other thing I was very careful of doing a TED Talk was I wasn't saying, just follow your dreams, don't get your mammogram. And I even suggested that with the conflicting guidelines about mammography, where should you get it every year or every other year, if you've decided to get it every other year, and then you have a dream that says, no, get it now, you should get it, whenever the dream tells you to, so that you wouldn't wait 2 years if the dream prompted you to have it earlier. So, I mean, in a sense, I see these things as working together, and certainly leading to further research in this area, and planning to do another study on women who have breast biopsies and see if we can predict the results of their breast biopsy from their dream beforehand. And that'll be very interesting to analyze those results.
Oh, they will. They really will. So, with all the women, the 18 women that are in the book, that are the backbone of the book, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, what was the one thread or the one characteristic that you saw running through all those stories and all those women?
Well, I think, I already mentioned mainly that the dream was so compelling that they had to act on it. So you'd have to say it'd be the courage to actually act on the dream, because walking into your doctor and telling him or her that you should have a study because you had a dream takes courage. And I think at least at this point in time it does. Maybe a couple of years from now, if we really do succeed in bringing dreams back into the mainstream medicine, it won't take any courage to walk in your doctor and say, hey, I had a dream. I think I should get this test. But right now it does. So.
Yeah, I agree. And in my case, I had 3 mammograms, 3 blood tests, 3 physicals, and the doctors were telling me I was healthy to go home. And I had the dream where the monk showed up in my dream and said, you go back tomorrow without an appointment. And you tell your doctor you need exploratory surgery. That is the only thing that's going to find this. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, what am I going to do this? And I remember crying in my dream to the monk and saying, you know, they're not listening to me now. What makes you think they're going to listen to me tomorrow? And that's when he handed me the feather. And he said, if you use this like a sword to cut through all the red tape and all the arguments your doctor's going to give you, you'll get the test you need. You'll get the exploratory surgery, and they'll find the cancer. And they did. I was in stage 2 with it in my lymph nodes.
And I think the other thing that's important to mention is that so far the 18 women in the study are all still alive, which is pretty remarkable odds when you think about it. And then also that some of the women used their dreams after the diagnosis to guide their treatment. I know you did and Wanda Birch did, and that may have something to do with their positive outcomes, that the dreams were guiding their therapy. And it didn't necessarily guide them to go off and do alternative, natural medicine. Sometimes it was the guidance was take as much chemo as you need, so.
Yeah, I think that's an important point, because I remember thinking, my spirit guides that came into my dreams said, go back to your doctors. They did not say, go find Swami Wami Rama Lama Ding Dong, because I'd have done it. That's at that point, that's how much I believed in them, especially the second time. When the doctors are the chiefs of everybody watching me, and they're telling me I'm healthy, and my spirit guides are coming into my dream saying, no, we're sorry, but it's back and it's really bad. So don't wait. I had to go back and convince. I had to be obnoxious. Really. I mean, imagine me being obnoxious. Yeah, right. So I had to be obnoxious and get those doctors to listen to me. And I had a 9 by 11 centimeter tumor that they had missed.
Yeah. And I think one of the exciting things about launching this book is that I suspect we're going to hear a lot more stories, which we're certainly going to start collecting to put in the next book. So stay tuned for coming attractions on that one.
Absolutely. So, and to our audience, stay tuned, because Dr. Larry Burke's going to be back in future episodes with me. We're going to be talking about some of the specific people in the book, and we're going to have them on as well, because their stories are absolutely amazing. After you see the show and hear their stories, they're going to leave you asking yourself, my gosh, is there more to dreams than just sleeping?
And I'm going to start keeping my own dream diary. That's the result we're hoping for, is everyone's going to run out and start keeping their dream diaries. I've been keeping one for 30 years, so I know the value of it. So,
yeah. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Go to the Facebook page, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, and click on there, and you can see everything that we're posting about where we're going to be. We're going to be doing book signings. We're going to be at the IASD, the International Association for the Study of Dreams. And I'll let Larry talk about that a little bit, since I introduced it. Larry, what are we going to do there?
We're going to have a panel of you and I and 2 other folks from the books to talk about the dream diagnosis experience. One of them has prostate cancer, and one of them had prostate cancer, and the other one had basal cell cancer. So,
and when is this?
And that's going to be in June, I think the 3rd week of June, in Scottsdale, Arizona. So, yeah.
So if you're anywhere near Scottsdale, make sure you come and see us at the IASD. We're going to do some book signings there, and we're going to try and get onto some local TV shows. So until then, or until the next show, don't discourage yourself from dreaming and writing them down. Write your dreams down. Set your intention before you go to sleep to remember your dreams and to meet your spirit guides because they're waiting to talk to you.
Yes.
This is Kat Kanavos and Dr. Larry Burke. Larry, how can our audience find you if they want to find out more about you?
So LarryBurkeMD.com is my website.
Great.
And Facebook, it's Dr. Larry Burke as well. So
great. So until next time, everybody, good night.
Good night.